All right.
What? Oh, there's no home screen music.
Maybe we're not at the point that has the home screen music.
All right, I'm cool with that. Hello,
It's a
everybody.
jamming soundtrack.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
There's the sound.
Okay, how many turnabouts do we have? We got
four?
so we got 4 turnabouts, just like the normal.
I got the best turnabout ever. It is the best. And we see the artist at sea.
Is that a pendulum?
Yeah. Like inside of a grandfather clock.
Is this dude like working in a clock tower? Oh wait, those are cards. Oh, they're gambling. Showdown time. Oh. You lose. Ah! Oh. Oh. Now that's what you call a sore loser.
No, I thought the loser was the one that died. I seem to be in a bit of trouble. Something like that. Dead. Someone hit him. Hard. Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that.
Alright. Oh wow, it looks exactly like the regular Ace Attorney.
Look at the art of the judge.
Oh wow. He looks super majestic in that one.
April 20, 9:37 a.m.
I'm sweaty. I can admit it. I'm nervous.
Good morning.
Ooh, hi. Good morning, sir.
You look tense, Justice. Round up tight.
Christoph. Okay.
Christoph. Sounds like
wound
alcohol.
up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine.
That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's a homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh?
I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Chords of Steel voice workout. I'm fine. Chords of Steel. All right.
You do that as well as a voice actor, right?
Well, I know of nothing that's called the Chords of Steel, but I do have a few various exercises I do to warm up my voice.
Chords of Steel is what you need to call it. I did detect a certain raspy quality of your speech.
I overdid it again.
I am disappointed in you. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift.
Drift, gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift.
As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through.
Yes, I'm fine, sir.
One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client.
Dude doesn't even know who's going to be defending him yet.
No.
My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants me to help him out, of course, and so I did. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him, no way. Are you sure? Whoa! Good,
It looks familiar, huh?
Familiar? Huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Just wait.
Good, morning.
Morning. It's all up to you today.
First trial. Nervous. Meeting him. Cardiac arrest. Who's he? He looks like a homeless guy. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help?
So, you're...
Fine! I'm fine!
Ah, Mr. Fine, is it?
Uh,
I did remember you having an odd name.
well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're okay? I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney. And he's your friend. So why?
You'll see.
Wait a sec. No, it couldn't be. Nah.
You can do it. Be confident.
Why do I have a feeling I know who this is?
Let's say it together, okay? 1, 2, 3. Miles
Phoenix.
Edgeworth.
I guess we'll find out. I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean,
It's time. Shall we?
Yes, sir. There's no way that's Edgeworth.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice. We should let everybody know, at this point, we have only played the first two... Well, I've only played the first two Phoenix Wright games. I'm getting ready to play the third one. That'll be a live stream series.
Yep. This is the first time with this game itself as well for me. Although I have heard a little bit about it. I know bits and pieces.
I know practically nothing. I know it's just a spin-off of Phoenix Wright, and that's pretty much it.
I've heard it's a spin-off, but a lot of people... It's kind of torn. A lot of people see this as the fourth in the franchise. Others just see it as a spin-off and nothing more.
We'll just treat it as a spin-off until something, I guess.
Until proven otherwise.
Yeah, pretty much.
The court is now in session.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Jeez, this guy just gets uglier every time he's introduced.
It's been 7 years.
The defense is, fine. I mean, ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late.
Your name was Mr. Justice? And this is your first trial?
Yes, Your Honor. But I'm fine, really.
Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Ahem. Mr. Gavin.
Yes, Your Honor.
I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case.
That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always cede to his client's wishes. And my client specifically requested Mr. Justice.
Well, of course he wants justice. But to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin.
Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience. Fine. But does he have cords of steel?
That sounds like a sex move.
Cords of steel?
For some reason, or either that or like a fighting game.
That sounds like some
finisher.
kind of like over-the-top anime attack.
Yes.
I could just imagine some kind of like iron magician. Cords of steel! Zeke, write that down. I might use that later.
Cords of steel, got it. I don't think this is the last time we'll hear it, so...
Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom.
Yo, what's up?
This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances.
No way. No way. That can't be Phoenix.
Oh! What?
Yes.
The hell happened to him?
We're about to find out.
Long time no see, Mr. Wright.
So I voiced Phoenix in the stream. Should I take him up here or?
If you want to, but the fact that there's going to be both Phoenix and Apollo in scenes, I think it's best if I just take them.
Yeah,
for
probably.
This. Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright's piano player.
Mr. Wright, how could this have happened?
I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne.
To think, I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains. Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
He actually learned his name. That's cool.
Yeah, he actually did. Character development.
I wouldn't have bothered.
Him. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and he hit him, wham, on the head, smack, killed him cold.
A customer at the restaurant, you say? And the defendant, you say he was...
The pianist for the club, it seems.
So Phoenix quits being a lawyer and learns how to play piano.
Yes.
All right.
Phoenix Wright, a pianist.
This is the weapon that took the victim's life. A bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice.
The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence.
Deadly bottle added to the court record. Type, weapon, submitted as evidence by Prosecutor Payne.
Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice to check it frequently.
The court record? Right, I've heard of that.
Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your abilities to handle this.
Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. What is the court record button? Oh, it's on the touch screen.
Yep. I was about to say, I see it right there.
Yeah, to note everybody, I'm actually playing this on a real 3DS. This is no emulator or anything. Okay. So this game uses the touchscreen like that. Very well.
But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow?
We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor.
A traveler?
According to his passport, he has been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear.
And he had some sort of connection with the defendant?
That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime.
If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing?
That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. Had a long night. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime.
Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself.
Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to becoming the basest sort of criminal.
Okay, so gambling is outlawed here. Interesting to know.
It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. Competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, knows its final outcome.
Come again?
They weren't gambling money, Your Honor. The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women.
He looks like the type.
That will be our first order of business here then. To find out more about this fatal game of cards.
Oh, the judge is getting poetic.
Very well. Defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure.
This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. Except you're defending the legendary Phoenix, right?
Yep. I'm a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all.
Why the hell did you give up being a Alright, we'll find out that eventually, obviously.
My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is, a game. And our customers are happy.
A pianist who can't play piano?
Better than a defense attorney who can't defend.
How about a prosecutor that can't prosecute?
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it.
Are you alright? You're sweating bullets.
Bullets? Where?
It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too.
My brain feels strained and raspy, sir.
You've watched me perform cross-examination many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher?
What to do? Should I ask Mr. Gavin for a course in cross-examination? I mean, I know how it works, so we don't need that. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered.
I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not.
I'm fine. The cords of steel are ready for battle. My weapons. Press and present.
Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it. Know it. Do it.
Inconsistencies? Lies? Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it.
The defense may begin its cross-examination.
All right. Okay, so looks like this is all handled through the bottom screen. Yet I can hardly play at all.
I saw on bottom, I've heard about this. You can actually say hold it and take that. into the mic in order to, instead of pressing the buttons.
No kidding. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, try it, please.
You can hardly play.
Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want.
Was that supposed to be a boast just now?
The title of pianist is a mask. A respectable face I wear for the world at large.
Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club?
Alright, let's try this.
So press Y.
Okay. Hold it!
There you go!
They pay you just to play poker?
That would seem to be the case. I'm a professional, after all. Bah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine. Yes. Your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
Oh, nice one, Phoenix.
What? I've played poker for 7 years in that little room. And I've never lost. Once.
What?
I mean, he was good at bluffing as a defense attorney, so make sure it makes sense.
That's true.
You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once? Is that even possible? I wonder if I gotta try that voice thing when I do the objection.
All right.
Okay, the room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction.
It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
Black market?
All in the past. Things like black markets are only on the silver screens nowadays. Suffice to say that there were a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room.
A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know. Just looking at this picture makes me feel bad.
The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I could practically picture it now.
That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else.
The room had few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to the regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in the room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun.
Using 2 decks of cards, I really... Wait, is that normal?
Yeah, it's to prevent card counting.
Ah, okay.
Like most casinos use up to like 8 decks of cards.
Wow, that's all it is. A game. Our customers are happy. So you claim you weren't gambling?
That's right. It was simply a game.
You didn't bet any money? Not even a little?
The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself.
Ho ho, well put, Mr. Wright.
The judge still likes Wright.
That's good. Did he ever like him in the previous game, though? He was always mad at him in the previous 2 games.
It's never really implicitly said, but it's kind of implied that the judge and other people in in like certain circles of like law and order and stuff like that, hold Phoenix Wright to a certain degree of like pride,
Esteem?
esteem. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I've got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes, your fate.
Can we get back to the trial now? I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony.
Isn't it a little early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press.
Right, I got
I think there was
I'm fine.
one thing we didn't press.
That's true. The most unquestioning thing there is. Time to listen to that
2 deck of
testimony
card.
again. Okay, deck a card. Okay, so this is the one. 2 decks of cards.
A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alter 2 decks, no one can slip in cards. Alternate 2 decks.
There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor.
That's true. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really. Incidentally, we use 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue.
As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yes, a game of hands.
This competition you're talking about, I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently.
That's right. It was a simple game after all.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Huh?
Some people are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, were you in the room the very moment that the crime occurred? Yet you claim no connection to the crime.
now that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Ask me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense.
I completely let that one slip by.
Don't despair yet, Justice.
Sir?
Right. There's something I'd like to make made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. I'd like to hear it from you. Sure, why not?
Very well. The defendant will amend his testimony.
Just one little press, and I've got myself a whole new testimony.
I plead silent regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon.
Silence?
The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law.
But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage.
And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes?
Great. Like I didn't have enough to do already.
Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony?
Huh?
Let's check that bottle real quick. Maybe there's like fingerprints.
Okay. Okay.
Ah, right there.
What? Grape juice bottle as the murder weapon bears the defendant Mr. Wright's prints.
He said he never touched it.
Oh.
I'm also not using walkthrough. I'm trying to go into this as blind as possible too.
I'm still trying to like learn how this game works because all the other Ace Attorney games we played were on the computer. This one is the first one I've had to use the DS for. Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now, what was it?
When you figure it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that contradicts the testimony.
A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony? But why? I better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Okay. I never touched the murder weapon. Present. Oh, I think I can do the voice thing.
Yeah, you can. Do it.
Objection!
Try it again. Try it again.
Objection! Why? Where's the mic on this thing? I thought it was the... Let me try again.
I think it's in the middle, right?
Not on a new 3DS. Objection! Objection!
There we go!
So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon. This grape juice bottle. Right?
So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb.
What's this, Mr. Payne?
I examined the bottle in question, you see. And it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints.
Objection!
No need to shout, Mr. Justice. I can hear you just fine.
He's like, oh, no, I overdid it. Excessive yelling can damage the judge's ears and our case.
But what about my cords of steel?
Save them for something else.
Anyway. What's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant?
Well, that's true. The prints are...
Oh, they wouldn't prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints.
Huh?
But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down.
Upside down? What does that mean?
It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there could be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Ah! It looks like he smelled something weird.
I like Apollo so far. Mr. Kevin, I think things just took a turn for the worse.
Oh, I see no problem, Justice.
Huh?
The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see.
Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on the bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder. For now.
Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case.
I'm sure he's uncorruptive because he's hiding something. There must be some reason.
Objection!
Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something.
And what might that be, Mr. Gavin?
On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police?
Reported.
Well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that's a self-report.
And now we've dated this episode by having an Among Us meme. Oh well, at least it's
Among
fun.
Us forever.
At least it's funny now. I love how Phoenix is just this whole time been looking around like, huh, so this is what this place looks like.
On this side of things.
Really?
Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone.
Near the scene?
Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in the basement 2 floors down from the ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. He looks like he's in a haunted mansion. He's like, yo, Maya, why am I here? The call came from the first floor of the restaurant.
I see. And this is the phone that made the call.
He's still rocking the Nokia.
Well, why wouldn't he? They're indestructible.
True. I think that thing could have been a murder weapon at one point.
Imagine if.
I believe you look hard enough, you could find a crime where a Nokia was the murder weapon. The defendant could have just fled the scene to the crime if he was so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative?
Nice save, Mr. Gavin. I'd better not waste this.
I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toyed? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the very room at the moment the crime occurred? How can you possibly know this?
That's a good question. How indeed?
The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are.
So someone else was in the room the night of the crime. That must mean they witnessed the crime.
Everything up till now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready?
Very well. The prosecution may call its first witness to the stand.
Oh, hello.
The witness will state her name and profession.
Hold just a moment. Where's the where's the witness?
I surmise that she's been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking horns.
So I used a little hair gel. Relax, people.
Have no fear. If any horns point in your direction, this court will cut them off.
You are sure?
I swear it on my gavel. Please, come out.
Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor?
Well, if you're sure it is okay.
Aw.
Ahem. Now, prosecute. What? Whoa, wait a
I
minute.
took a picture.
Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's,
Paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia. Para what?
Paraphernalia.
Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia?
Yes.
What the hell does that mean, paraphernalia?
Like, stuff they have.
Oh.
I think talk about the camera. She's a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade.
And that would be...
My name is Olga Orly. Olga Orly?
I think
Like
it's
ordinary?
Olga.
Like, or is that the ordinary? I think that's what's trying to be play on words on. I'm
Maybe.
employed as a waitress in the Borscht Bowl Club restaurant.
I think Olga is a Russian name. I could be wrong about that.
Olga. I think it is.
Then why the camera?
Of course, it is my pride to serve borscht that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how's it say, other services. Something called an OnlyFans, Your Honor.
I take it one of these other services is taking the customers' pictures.
Da-da! Like, for example, this one.
Ah! Well then.
That's the defendant.
Indeed! On the night of the murder! Man in white hats is one who had gone kaput.
Indeed. That is the victim.
This isn't looking good for us.
No, this is looking really bad.
Order! Order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps.
It is same way as I drop cold bowls of borscht on laps of customers. Casually.
Then the court will casually accept this new evidence.
Okay.
Now, witness! Where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room. The hideout, we call it.
Excuse me? The hideout?
It is room where famous gangster bad guy. Bad guy.
Bad guy!
My god, can you imagine? He was probably like. Famous was like an understatement. He probably was so bad that they just call him bad guy. It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. It is room where murder took place.
What?
Your look of utter supplies. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Da. Da. Photo will be numbered and you will write which one you want copy of.
So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Mr. Wright, and the victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga Orly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means the girl's the killer?
Sounds like it.
Gonna have a hard time to proving that one.
Very well. Witness. You will testify to the court about the night's event, or that night's events.
All right.
That fateful night. That night, customers asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on. Da. The victim, he plays whole time with his hands on locket at his neck. Then, last hand is done. But something terrible has happened. Da. That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Oh,
What?
There
That's
it is.
not what happened. Well, there's our objection.
yep.
Incidentally, who won the game?
Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith.
That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose.
Him, Justice? Maybe you could come up with a more legitimate objection?
But he hadn't lost in 7 years.
Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here.
Well, there's something wrong with this piece of evidence.
What's that? I'm not...
Okay, Wright said they have red cards and blue cards. Yet there's also a set of black cards in there.
No, there's not. I'm not seeing black cards.
What are you talking about? Look right there, black cards.
Are you talking about like the ace?
Yeah, look, the ace, and I think that's the club of 6.
No, that's the suit.
What?
There's 4 suits in a deck of cards.
Wait, what?
There's hearts, diamonds, those are reds, clubs, and spades, which are black.
Huh?
They're talking about the back of the cards.
Maybe it really has been that long since I've looked at a deck of cards.
It's okay. The hands and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far right belong to the victim, Mr. Smith.
Chips, you say?
Yes! Imagine that poker is a war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils.
I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of the courtroom number 3.
Wait, in my childhood? Did he say that?
In his youth.
Ah, okay. I was talking like, how long have you been a judge?
Forever.
I think he means poker face.
Looking at this picture, it does seem most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table.
And it looks like he had a royal flush on his side, if I remember correctly. Chip photo added.
I didn't see his hand, so we could
Let's
probably take another look.
Let's take a look at the court record. Check.
There's a lot of face cards.
Yeah, he's got, I think, 2 queens, a king, and 2 aces. Okay, not a royal flush.
That's not a royal flush. If it was that, it looks like he had 2 pairs, but they're pretty strong if it's a pair of queens and a pair of aces. That's a pretty strong hand.
Okay, so he was in a good position. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right to the contradiction we noticed. Strangle him to death. Now, okay,
Used as a murder weapon.
all right.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna try this voicing again. Objection!
There! That's so cool.
I really like doing that.
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor.
How exactly are the evidence and the statement just now related?
What? What do you mean? Oh, give me a break.
I seriously thought that was it. Maybe we had to press a little bit more.
They aren't, are they?
Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think facts over before making accusations.
I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Okay, let's try this again.
Let's press him. Let's press that.
But the defendant would never do such a thing.
Eek!
Well now, I can't say I've ever heard of the defense try this tactic.
If possible, please refrain from embarrassing me.
Still, why would anyone do something like this over a game of poker?
Perhaps it is because defendant has lost game? Yes! A crushing defeat for a man undefeated. So it always is with men like him. Winners make sore losers. Oh, how the mighty fall. Go ahead. I believe you know what it is that you need to do.
Right, sir. Leave it to me. There were only 3 people in the room at the time of the murder. The victim, Shady Smith, and Mr. Wright. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, I've got it now. Orly. Okay, so I guess let's actually press her whole thing.
That's so weird. I thought that was it. Like, seriously.
You were dealing cards. Do you do this often?
I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work.
It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service.
Welcome you to Borscht Bowl Club, where borscht is warm as the waitresses.
Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. Both players with hats on, da. It's already April. How could it be cold? You'd be surprised.
At Borscht Bowl Club, we have pride at authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside, it is city in spring, but inside it's always as cold as Mother Russia.
No way am I going there.
When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da.
He played with whole time with his hand on locket and at his neck. His locket?
I believe it was good luck charm, da. He gripped it many times as he played that night.
Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift.
The defense would like clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket?
Of course, I knew that.
Whatever you say, Judge.
It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that.
No, a locket, or a locket's a what? I don't know.
It's considered bad form to poke fun at the heart of hearing in our society.
Hard of hearing or hard of understanding?
So, what happened next?
Last hand is done. Something terrible had happened. Something terrible?
The defense will refrain from needless shouting.
Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing.
Now, Miss Ollie, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. And strangled him to death. Okay.
Strangling him to death. What do we have? Okay, so there's Apollo's Justice Badge. Oh, wait! Oh, we have an autopsy
There it is.
report. Okay,
let's check
this.
out that real quick.
Okay, time
Single
of death.
blow to the forehead.
Okay, all right, so that's what we had to present. All right, let's do this again. Objection! Objection! I'm not gonna get tired of that.
That's awesome.
Oh, strangled, you say? That's odd.
Normal customers only choke on borscht.
What? What kind of place is this?
We serve borscht in negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, yeah?
No, I mean this report shows the victim died of a blow to the head.
Ag!
Miss Orly, really now, did you witness the crime?
Eek! Oh, good catch.
Yeah.
Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. He's still wearing his hat and everything.
Yet, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor.
Oh!
Ooh. Here's the photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation.
Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit.
Crime photo 2 added to the court record.
But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim, his neck.
Oh, really, Miss Orley? I think I've caught you in your own lie this time.
Justice, I admire your enthusiasm. Perhaps you should think this through once more.
What do you mean? I found a contradiction.
There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me.
Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination.
There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead, but let's stop beating it.
There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too.
Okay, that night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It's cold, but...
Can we take a look at the court record again?
The autopsy report says the time of death was around 2 a.m., April 17th. Cause of death, single blow by the forehead. Sub-basement at the Borscht Bowl Club. Touch the check button for details. Okay, so that's how I bring up the photo. He's dead AF. Didn't they say something about like a lock?
Can you... yeah, the locket's gone. Can we take a can we take a look at the other picture with Wright and Shady talking?
Sure.
He has the locket.
Yeah, okay, I think I do see the locket there.
Let's present that picture of him without the locket to her when she said he's messing with the locket.
Okay. The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, I gotta bring this thing pretty close to do this, unfortunately. Objection!
Oh,
and it still
again.
doesn't work sometimes.
Just try again.
Maybe... Objection! Come on. Maybe I have to wait? Objection! Okay, so you have to wait a moment. All right, that's how it works. You know, there was one curious part about in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean?
Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about?
Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said.
I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar.
Are we allowed to do that kind of stuff? I'd really like to raise an objection about your ugly hair. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck?
Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this.
But what does it mean?
If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death.
Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor.
It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it off, no?
Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean...
The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his lockets. Wouldn't that explain it?
Ah!
Ark!
Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say,
Yes.
I just noticed, but you have something hanging around your neck, don't you?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh? You mean this? Phoenix is like, oh, whoa, what's this? Yes, it's a locket with a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter.
Excuse me?
My man!
What the hell?
Phoenix has a daughter.
Phoenix has a kid?
Wait a second. My man!
Who's the mom? Yo, did he and Maya hook up?
We can hope.
Hell yeah! Come again?
Mr. Wright, you have a daughter?
We confirmed it at the time of their arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter.
Oh my god, I want to see what she looks like! So Mr. Wright has a locket too. Why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence?
Did Shady steal the locket from Wright?
Couldn't be. Would he?
Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should have a bit more about the outcome of the game.
I want to see inside this damn locket. I want to see Phoenix's daughter. I don't fucking care who's dead. Let me see the kid. Oh my god, I want to see if Maya's the mom.
Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost. Badly.
Miss Orley, you will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant.
Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 points in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Once the one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant played with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and...
Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game.
As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
Ah, how many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor. Now what? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honor.
Common.
Wish I could have seen what the rest of that said, but it auto skipped.
I think it said something along the lines of it was a fit of anger, Your Honor. I didn't mean to do it or something.
A common tale, but true.
Me thinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong.
He's really latched on to that 7-year thing.
Okay, so the game began with... Okay, let's see what we can get out of this. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used?
No, not special. Usual game, usual rules.
If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be, exactly 7,000 points.
There you go, Judge.
Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. Small and large.
That's fair. There's two sizes on that.
Are the chips in this photo all the chips that were used?
Of course.
Something fishy with these chips. Should I press harder?
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's press harder.
Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips?
Explain? What is there to be explained? Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips. Not a chip off the old block.
Thanks. Now that I've pressed her, I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Or are they in dollars or rubles even?
As I have been saying before, it was game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. 2 types of chips. 100-point chips and 1,000-point chips. It is not money, da. Oh, can you check the court record?
Oh, okay, what?
She said 100 for the small chips and 1,000 for big chips.
100 for... Wait, what'd she say?
She said 100 for the big chip, for small chips, and 1,000 for the big ones.
Oh, so Phoenix
1,
was
2, 3,
winning.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's too many chips.
What?
They started with 7,000 points.
Wait, did she say
If you
small
count-
chips were worth 1,000?
Small chips were worth 100.
Okay, well, I had that
However,
backwards.
count the big chips. There's
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
There's
8, 9, 10.
Okay, there was 9 on his side, 1 on Phoenix, 10 chips.
They started with 7,000 points.
I don't know
There's a
poker, but
contradiction.
something seems very wrong about that.
Justice.
Oh, Sir,
Don't you find her comments interesting?
In more ways than one, sir.
I have it. I'd have it added to her testimony myself.
Well, does the defense want the witness to add...
yeah, add to testimony. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this.
Very well. Witness, if you would be so kind.
Your Honor. 100 points. The other present.
Okay.
There's way too many chips.
Oh, which do we present it here?
This
or do
one.
We...
I have a feeling it's this. It's that second one. I think it might be one of those. You could present it either statement 1 or 2.
Okay, then let's give it a shot.
The math is wrong here.
Here we go. Objection!
Yeah!
Still having fun with that.
It's such a powerful feeling.
I know! It is! You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure?
It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten.
Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court?
Judge is in kindergarten.
Of course, Your Honor. In this photo, I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points?
Oh, I get what this argument is saying.
Oh!
The small chips with 1,000.
Ah, okay, I was right.
Yeah, you were
Phoenix
right.
was winning.
Why, it was the big ones, duh.
Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up.
The totals?
Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips. And the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points.
Yes, if my calculations are correct. Let's see. 3 plus 1, carry the 5.
They are, Your Honor. Now, look at the photo that allegedly shows all the chips.
One, two,
Okay,
three,
so
4, 5,
so
6.
10 black ones, 6 red ones. Okay, so I was
Phoenix
right.
is wiping the floor. He is at 4,100
Damn.
compared to 2,700.
if the big chips are worth 1,000 points and the small chips are worth 100, and you add them up,
How much is it?
do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten, are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony.
Oh, is this the cornered?
Ooh, I like it.
It has a kind of bassy tone to it. I like it. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why.
Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Starting points were wrong. Chip count were, starting points were wrong. That would throw out our entire argument.
both were right. Phoenix was winning.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get what it means. Both were right. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in this photograph, then there can only be one answer.
Well, what is it?
The value of the chips was the other way around.
What?
Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones.
Madness! Utter madness!
Show me the photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up.
Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself.
Well, I'm glad I was the one who said it. I'm just glad I was the one who said it.
But wait! The values of the chip might be different, but that changes nothing!
Indeed. The victim did not have the larger number of chips still. The victim did have the larger number of chips still. Ah!
Exactly. If the small chips are 1,000 points and the large chips are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table.
The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points.
Well now, it seems that Mr. Right was winning that night after all.
That's impossible!
My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning!
Yeah!
Now, Miss Orley, you must know the true value of the chips. Since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you?
Don't drop the Borsk.
Order! Order! It appears our defendant has lost his motive. And Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. We must now ask ourselves whether...
Huh? Oh.
Excuse me? What is it, Miss Orley?
I did not want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see... See what, Miss Orley? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat.
Huh?
Cheat? You don't mean... A trick?
Wait. Or do you mean... a scam?
They're all the same thing!
We have been bamboozled. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ended with chips as they are.
Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating.
Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting.
Witness! you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand.
Okay, I have a feeling it has something to do with that hand, so we had to keep in mind
Okay.
that picture as well. The last hand, both men had full house. I noticed that. There is four of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, the game becomes argument. The defendant trick was exposed. He took bottle in hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Can we take a look at the court record real quick?
Sure.
I want to see what she was talking about.
Okay. Okay, so we got...
Oh,
What are you thinking?
I don't think we'll get any information from that one.
Got
The one with the hand and the chips.
the hand and the chips. This one?
This one. Chip photo.
Okay, let's see.
What she says is true. Both of them have a full house. You see how right has 3 sevens and 2 aces?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Smith had 3, it's like either queens or kings.
Could be jacks.
It's some sort of it's jacks.
I mean,
He
it
has
could be.
3
I don't know.
3 jacks and 2 aces. So technically speaking, when it comes to poker, when it's like hands like that, you take the denomination of the cards. So in that case, Smith would have won that hand
I see.
because he had 3 jacks. However, I'm not seeing the contradiction that she's claiming. There is no cheat.
Interesting. Let's see what we can find in the cross-examination. Miss Orley, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover-up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers.
A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make, in my experience.
That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics.
Mr. Gavin? What's a full house?
Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker?
I can't say this bodes well for your case or career.
What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring?
Justice. You know the term 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes?
Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind.
Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. Oh, we get a close-up on Phoenix's hand.
Okay.
That's a full house. That's a full house.
That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it?
You can see each player's hand in this photo.
Wow, they both have full houses.
Can we take another look at that court record? I want to see what suit was that Smith's.
What suit?
Yes, can you take a look at the red one? You have a better view of it.
I'm
Both
not
of those
actually-
red.
Honestly,
sorry?
I can't see the detail any better than you can. I want to say I can't make out the letter. I think it's Jack.
Oh, it's not the jack that I'm wondering about. It's the suit. Is it a heart or a diamond on both of those? Or if it's separate?
Let's see. I think the 2 red cards, I believe they're diamond and heart.
Okay. Well, that gets away that, because if that's the case, the cheating was on Smith. Because, like I said, there's 4 suits for every card. So if these are jacks...
Maybe we'll get a close-up? Let's take a look.
Maybe. I'm hoping we'll get a close-up soon. We forget! There's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat.
Ahem. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand.
They're both diamonds.
Huh?
I think Smith had 2 diamonds.
Let's see. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat?
It was Smith that did the cheat.
Let's see. I love how the bottom screen has like them, has like the close up on
Squared
their
off.
eyes. It's awesome. Okay, let's take a look real fast. Oh, what the hell? I don't get to re-look at the.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping we'd get that close up again.
Maybe. Okay, let's press this. Maybe we get another close up.
Okay.
I need to take a look. I need a close up just to confirm what I believe. But I think I saw them both as diamonds, which is impossible in a one hand in one deck.
Just how hard is it to make a full house anyway?
It is quite hard, Da. It is making a pair and 3 of a kind at the same time.
I guess that's right.
Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom number 3.
Very difficult, Da, but it's not impossible.
Okay. Full house. Hard okay. Full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time. Okay, there is 4 of each card in a deck from ace to king. What? 4 of
That's
each?
basically 4 of each. So, you know how I was talking about heart, diamond, club, spade?
Yeah?
There's one of those in every single one from ace to king. So if I pull a 2 of hearts, there's a 2 of hearts, a 3 of hearts, 2 of hearts, a 2 of clubs, 2 of diamonds, and 2 of spades.
Okay.
That's why I think it is that right there. Because it's impossible for him to have a full house and have the same suit. Like
Okay.
a jack of diamonds and a jack of diamonds. That's impossible.
Okay. So, assuming we can't get a close-up on those cards, and assuming he has 2 jacks of diamonds, that's our evidence. But I think
Yes.
we're going to need to press a little longer before that.
Smith is the one who cheated. I just don't know where to present it.
4 of each card, you say?
Da, there is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that these number 4 comes from number of seasons.
Huh. You don't say.
Ah, and did you know that the cards are numbered 1 through 13? Add all the cards in a deck and you get 364. A year!
Huh? Huh. You don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? Well,
If you include the Joker.
yeah, I was about to say.
That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year, all in a deck of cards. I had no clue about that.
Huh. You don't say. We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this. Okay. If you look at both men's hand, cheat is more obvious. Maybe we'd present it here because Mr. Wright is obviously not cheating, but
Yeah, I think it might be right here.
I think we should press just to be safe. How was it clear?
Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. No, he didn't.
A 5th ace.
I still remember both hands very well.
Okay, so I was. Wait, what?
Okay, so Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces.
Hang on a second.
No, it did not.
No, it did not. Yeah, I was just about to say. Look at this. He's got 3 kings.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's That's a negatory. We found her. I think that's the one right there.
Okay.
Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's joke?
Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please.
Okay. 3.
Okay, now
Okay.
present it.
Here we go.
There we go. We got you.
Objection! Oh, come on.
Try it again.
Objection! Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It appears the witness is mistaken.
Mistaken? But my name.
Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you just said in your testimony.
That's the photo of the chips, is it not?
Justice. Perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point.
Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo.
Oh, okay. So this has got to be a touchscreen thing.
Yep.
Aha. Okay. So on the bottom. Oh, I can just use the D-pad. Here we are. Miss Orley, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith had 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces.
And that is diamonds. I am correct. Smith was the one that's doing the cheating.
Ah.
Eek! Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question.
Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating, all right, and it's going on right here in this courtroom.
2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating.
Wait, please. It is true. I had seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you.
That's odd. She must be lying, yet she's the most sincere I've seen her all day.
You're right to trust your instincts.
Mr. Gavin?
Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion.
What might that mean? What might that be, Mr. Gavin?
If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards?
The cards.
Mr. Payne. Yes? The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court.
Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards?
If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious?
Victims.
Yeah, victim's hand. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards.
Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would.
Very well.
All right.
We might get a better look. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice.
Yes, sir. Okay, so it just auto did all that.
When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. This seems familiar, huh?
Yes, unfortunately.
Turn from the ashes.
Oh, God, I hated this mechanic.
That should give you a better perspective on this case.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, how far can I zoom in? Oh, wow, it actually has, like, dials and...
Oh!
Oh!
It's blue!
Ha!
He did do the cheating!
What? Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color.
Eh? Eh! That's impossible. But I put the cards in Wright's hand. Ah!
Oh.
Oh! What was that, Miss Orley? No, you idiot! I merely said, I have eek! Your Honor.
Mr. Gavin, yes?
Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker?
To cheat?
I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade. A comrade, shall we say. The dealer.
Ah.
Wait, so you mean this witness, Miss Orley?
She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager.
Order!
Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean, of her mistake. Wow! Alright, that came out really wrong, Apollo. We know what you meant, but holy hot dang. Thank God you did not say that out loud.
This game, man.
Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard.
That's impossible. But I put the card in Wright's hand.
Ergo, Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith.
Oh!
Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim.
What?
Wait, you don't mean... The defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, are you?
Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. And if Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense is accusing the witness, Miss Olga Orley, of murder. Uh-oh.
I thought that was going to land on her.
I was kind of hoping it would too.
Mr. Payne, where is your witness, Miss Olga Orley?
It appears she has lost consciousness, Your Honor.
Mr. Justice,
Your Honor.
it seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a condition between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith.
Or a connection, my bad. And that means...
The court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time.
What?
I did it! I held out!
I see no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries.
Right? Mr. Wright?
You can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored back. Don't you wonder what it means? Well, what are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raise raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous!
Mr. Payne, you of all people should know, Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous.
Well, that's one way to put it, I guess.
Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night.
As it was said before, we alternated between 2 decks of cards that night. That was said before! The 2 decks at the club were different colored backs, blue and red. 1 color per deck.
Why use different colored backs?
If we use the same color, the 2 decks might get mixed.
You used different colors and they still got mixed up?
We used the red deck for the last game.
I see. But that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards.
Yeah, me too. I'm sure someone said something about blue cards.
Whatever. In the end, 1 card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would indicate cheating. Yet, this card raises 2 serious questions. Apollo?
Yes?
Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped?
When?
There are 3 broad possibilities here. It could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah! Thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright! Of course it was swapped! Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne. Or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped?
When was the card swapped into the deck? So the most obvious guess is before the murder.
If it was before the murder, however, Wright would have known, right? Because he would have seen the cards on the deck right there. There's also cards that were found on the floor. Remember how there was cards on the table, cards on the floor?
And I can also see the blue deck in this picture. Then it could very well have been after the murder.
I think it might have been after the murder.
Ah! Of course, if she's the murderer, she would have done it after to frame Wright.
That's true.
Perhaps it happened after the murder?
What's that? Ridiculous. What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly.
Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I take silly over impossible.
Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible.
Oh, even when the back of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time.
That's what I'm thinking. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown, after the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over?
Is this guy really this dumb? Like, seriously.
He has trouble conveying his points. That was what was talked about in the trilogy. Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us.
There's another.
Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card?
Who?
The game and the murder is done. The victim is dead. Only 2 remain in the room. Alive, that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga Overly.
Okay, so who was it that swapped out the red card for a blue card?
Has to be Olga.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to frame Phoenix for murder.
Mm-hmm.
Why, it must have been Olga Orley who swapped the cards. She was trying to cover up evidence of the cheating.
That does make some sense.
What?
Sorry. But there's a problem with that explanation.
Huh?
The swapped cards were from the wrong deck.
Yes, a blue card was stuck into the red hand.
Mixing a card from the wrong deck when the backs are a different color. Remember that you're talking about Olga Orley. She was the dealer. Do you really think she would have make such a novice mistake?
Actually, I have trouble imagining even the judge making that mistake.
Give it a little bit more thought, Apollo.
Right! Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card for the blue card?
Someone else.
Yeah, it can't be Phoenix, because
It could have been the victim.
Oh! But we just established that this happened after the murder. Huh. Who do we... Let's see, profiles. Okay, we got Kirstoff Gavin, Phoenix Wright, Shady Smith, Winston Payne, Olga Orley. Jesus, this is hard.
Mm-hmm.
The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga Orley either.
What are you suggesting?
That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As a defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss Orley at this point.
Yes, I know. But she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color.
And if the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright?
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I'm just thinking how much fun all this is.
You're on trial for murder, Phoenix. For the second time in your life, I might add. This job sucks! What are you talking about?
Fun? How about confusing? I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the cards wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Miss Orley, then who was it?
Yeah, well, that's the question, isn't it?
Precisely.
Huh?
I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction.
A new direction?
We'll find that, indeed, after the murder. Someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. And that someone made 2 critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us that the first was swapping the wrong color card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know 2 colors of card were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card.
Right. The person replaced the 5th ace with a king.
I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a 5th ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But, there's one problem! According to the case record, this person doesn't exist! True. Not until now. But you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. Well, what?! I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright.
The trial has proceeded on one certain assumption. The trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that, at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room.
I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption?
The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court.
I suppose that is a problem, yes.
Have you noticed how his hat says Papa?
Papa. Yeah?
Where did he get that hat, I wonder?
Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess.
Certainly, Your Honor.
Very well. The trial will resume in 20 minutes.
This is getting weird.
It is getting weird.
I'm gonna have to save.
That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that. I must ask, is it true? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Ah, being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I've no time for mysteries. I'd only ask for you to leave your defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Christoph. Justice.
Yes, sir.
The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo.
Thanks. Who's this daughter of yours? Can I ask you something? Who's the kid?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, we're in the right direction. That locket you wear. Is that really yours, Mr. Wright?
Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there.
Oh, let's take a... Huh? That's weird. That kid's on the cover of the game. I'm just surprised to hear you have a daughter.
Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days.
One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you?
What do you think?
Huh?
You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did. It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat.
I never, honest, but... It is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years.
Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker.
Eh?
You see, poker's all about reading your opponent. In that way, it's a lot like a court case.
Poker is like law? Or Poker is like trial law?
Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win.
Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds.
I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information.
You're kidding.
That witness, for instance, Miss Orley. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
No. Come on, who'd notice that?
Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. I've only seen a little bit of Death Note, but I get a picture of Phoenix just like sitting there like that detective. Just examining everyone in the courthouse, just like, yes, they're making a twitch right there, and oh, Judge is making a twitch. He knows something.
I never finished Death Note. I think I watched like 5 episodes and I just forgot to resume it.
I think I made 5 episodes as well, actually, but I've seen enough memes of it, you know? That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and now I pass the secret on to you.
But I'm not worthy! I mean, there's no way I'll pick up these signals.
No, no, you could do it.
Huh?
You just don't know it yet.
What's he talking about?
But you will, soon. Ah, almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet.
Huh?
He's like, I know everyone else doesn't have a Magatana.
What? I knew it!
I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power.
My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special.
It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best.
To be continued? What?
We got a part 2, dude.
Oh, screw off with that! Save up to this point. You've only been dragging us out for 2 hours. Alright, let's see if we can actually get this done.
I'm pretty sure we could.
Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, she regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued.
You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, fatigue is insignificant grounds for refusing testifying or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand.
Very well. The witness will take the stand.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poorer loser. Not.
Huh?
Whoa! Name's Ogly Oli. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer.
The hell?
People call me Olga Quick Fingers Oli.
Oh. Oh, really?
Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian. And my last name sounds like oh really.
You don't say.
There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied.
Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night.
Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see?
Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences.
Fine. Well, this definitely took a turn already. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress.
So you were in cahoots with the victim.
Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. Out of context, this is so weird. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards!
Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins.
A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh really, how droll. Oh, how droll. But it appears you have made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree. The trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card?
Hey, that's right!
He's lucky. I'll give him that. You'd have to be a slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly.
Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick.
Cute? Who wants to be cute?
We like cute here.
That's the channel banner right there. I'm not cute, I'm bad. You hear me? Bad! Oh, you're cute.
Really?
She's pretty cute.
I mean, she was cute when she was, all hunkered up and, in those coats and whatever. But this is like, she looks like a wannabe pirate casino ripoff thing. I don't know.
It's kind of cute. I'm not saying it's like the cutest thing we've ever seen in Ace Attorney, but she's pretty cute.
When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung.
The best laid traps. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was no good cheating defendant.
A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark.
The trap was perfect, I tell you, perfect! If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up.
Look who's talking!
Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice.
With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? All right. See what we can find.
Get to the bottom of this.
Planted the card like I was supposed to. This planted card. Which card was it exactly?
The trump card. The 5 of hearts.
Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house. At least that's what you're going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend.
I slid it into Wright's pocket.
When was this?
Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borsk Bowl Club, we serve Borsk and suckers.
Remind me never to go there.
Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good Borsk, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken.
And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to, then Mr. Smith searched him. So everything went according to plan.
Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pockets, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud.
There are worse things to be known as, I suppose.
Tell us what happened with the search. The trap failed. The card disappeared?
Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone, without a trace. Poof, Zippo. We searched every nook and cranny, even inside his cute little hat.
But the card was nowhere to be found. Is this correct?
Never in my long storied career. Never has Quick Fingers really been so readily duped.
Oh, really? So what did happen to that 5 of hearts?
Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant?
So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action.
Yeah, where is the 5 of hearts?
Wait, isn't that a little odd?
But what's odd?
You searched Mr. Wright, thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim.
Well...
Oh?
There it is. She's rubbing the back of her head.
What was that just now? I sensed something.
Something wrong, Mr. Justice.
No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes.
Yeah.
Miss Orley, you're hiding something.
What are you talking about? You... Me? Quick Fingers really hide something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations.
I have one question for the witness, then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true. Did you see her touch the back of her head again?
Mm-hmm.
I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting?
It's a vibe check moment, dude. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck when during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice?
Touching her neck. touching her neck, was it?
Whoa.
What?
What in the hell?
Whoa, what's going on?
Apollo's doing some drugs.
This sensation, it's coming to focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before. I have an
See.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. We got another catchphrase.
Miss Orly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself.
Unaware what?
Whenever you get into a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand.
My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I
Wait,
didn't notice anything of the sort.
maybe the locket?
Maybe.
When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches the back of her neck. I'm sure of it.
A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about?
This is highly unusual. But let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us?
Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her of the moment of the crime?
I think it's the locket, but we don't have a...
I don't have anything of the locket in the... Well, then again, the closest thing we have to the locket is this image where the locket is not there.
True.
Miss Orly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happen when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this.
Could have been the bottle?
Grape juice bottle. Mr. Wright's prints upside down.
Could she have been hit by the grape juice? Either that or it's the locket, but we don't have the locket itself.
Okay, so we've got it down to two things. So it's either, it has to be either this, where the locket is not there, or it could be the bottle. I have a feeling it's crime photo 2.
Let's do it then. Sorry to disappoint, but I don't have any particular memories of that.
Uh-oh, that must have not been it.
Of course not. You want a habit, Mr. Justice? I'll show you a habit.
I'd better get this sorted out before I develop a habit of my own. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? I guess it would be the bottle since it was the murder weapon. Alright. Ah, okay. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And what reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon?
Are they saying like the neck of the bottle?
Oh, maybe.
That's so dumb.
But something doesn't fit. If you were the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain?
What is he talking about now?
Oh, I think I know what he's getting at. It was Mr. Smith, the victim who was hit, not you. What if this guy tried to kill her and she killed him in defense?
Maybe.
Maybe that's what Apollo's starting to drive at.
This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness habits? It's completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination.
I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss Orley, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment.
Oh. I am knowing nothing.
We know you're not Russian.
The witness will testify, please. Now.
Bah, fine.
He's
the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Present the phone.
Yeah, I was just about to say. All right, here we go. Now we've got it for sure this time. Objection! Oh, come on!
Try
It's
again.
so not cool when it doesn't work. Objection! Give me a fucking break. Work, damn it. Objection!
Bruh.
Objection! Of course!
Oh, that worked!
Miss
How'd that work?
Fuck if I know, dude. Fucking DS. Was your microphone always this crap?
Yes.
Miss Orley, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states the police were all alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club.
Arg!
So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Heh.
There's a lobster falling down.
I saw that.
The man who picked up the bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant.
Oh, cool. We get more of this. It's practically impossible to see. Showdown time. You dirty cheat. Check his pockets now. It's gone. Card's gone. You lose.
You lose.
Oh!
Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle next to Wright. And he hit me!
Oh. You. Some master of cheater you are!
Eek! When I came to, the victim was already dead.
Or wait, no,
Is
that's
that
the
it?
judge.
Oh.
When you came to, the victim was already dead. Is that it?
That's why I couldn't reveal who it really was.
Who I really was?
If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Well, where does this leave us?
Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming. Must have been me who was hit in the bottle, and I'm imagining all of this!
It appears our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events?
Mr. Gavin? Sir?
I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly a big fat liar. But what? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive.
A motive?
Her plot foiled. The witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the demolument of that argument was murder. What? I did it! I'm no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to frame me! What tangled web we've weaved when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process.
Mr. Wright.
Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder.
Right. It's like Mr. Wright was saying before.
A single card was swapped in the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the cards didn't know the 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. This theory again! Your 4th person doesn't exist! Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal.
The real criminal?
And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about?
Sorry.
Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error.
He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards.
Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue.
Yeah, I had that impression too, but why?
Well, Apollo, think you could figure who it was? Oh my gosh.
Huh?
It's not me, I swear!
Who is this 4th person?
Why do I always get put on the spot like this?
Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards that used in the final game were blue?
It is literally between these 2.
It's not. I don't think it's Pain.
Christoph?
I
What?
think it might be Christoph.
Christoph?
He knows Phoenix, remember?
Oh. No way. No fucking way.
Let's do it. As I expected, your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair.
I was right?
Christoph Gavin, you were the 4th person that night.
But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards.
How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. He did say about the red and blue cards!
Oh!
He did!
Oh shit! He did!
You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor or the table.
But look! You can see the colors in this photo!
Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game, in the purest sense, a competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wit, a silent crash of passion. Only the cards, they're backed, red with blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Kristoff?
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff? You know even I'd never take a joke this far.
Damn.
This has gone beyond ridiculous! Beyond dumb! This is insanity! The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met! Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court.
The defense would like to request no such thing.
Mr. Gavin?
Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happening before the game of poker be related?
I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly...
Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you.
Oh!
Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you.
Oh, okay.
Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony?
Yes, we do. This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along. And I intend to see it through.
That's why he asked for justice himself. Not his friend Gavin.
Oh! That's why Oh, that makes sense!
Phoenix had a trap for Gavin.
Oh! God dang! Phoenix has fallen from grace, but my God, his fire still burns! The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court.
It too, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher? Is it? No, it's it too. Yeah, that's it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please.
Appetite before the murder.
That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Huh.
Mr. Gavin, you were at Borscht Bowl, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant, out on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
Why did he not defend himself, I wonder? Or, well, then again. Oh, you know what? Phoenix was playing some, like, 5D chess.
He's playing, like, we're all playing checkers. He's playing 5D chess.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. He's like, oh, I could just defend myself. I've done this before. But he realized, I'm going to need to get Christoph in the courtroom. So why don't I just call him up and get his rookie defense attorney
to destroy him. But
brilliant!
But what is Christoph's motive?
That is what we got to find out in this cross-examination.
You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now. I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice.
Sir?
He's lying, and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial?
Because you're an ace attorney, bud.
Yeah.
We cross-examine birds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that did happen. Is this Apollo's first trial?
Yes.
Get ready for a whole lot more craziness, buddy. You better retire right now if you don't think you can handle it. Let's see what we can find. You had dinner with Mr. Gavin.
Yes, he dines with me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. We were enjoying a usual dinner at our usual spot, as usual.
Usual?
I always eat at the table closest to the piano.
I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So, the plates and such on the table were from your dinner? Indeed. The remnants of the meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, then Christoph left. After that.
Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph had left. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time.
That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure. Oh, Mr. Wright! What was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met? I believe I did say that. Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be. If that was all that really happened.
Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? Smith hit the waitress. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga Orley mentioned.
The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith will call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out a planted card and the trap would snap shut.
You swapped the cards!
Just like that, the legend will be dashed to pieces. Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card.
Card she planted.
Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Disposed? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice.
The murder weapon? Holy crap!
Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in, and the colored glass makes it hard to see.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look.
Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle of wits.
Well, the judge's getting into it.
Please revise your testimony in this new information.
Go ahead and check the bottle like Apollo just said.
Yeah, let's check. Well, there's no way I can take a look inside of it directly.
Maybe on the bottom. I remember seeing you had like an exam. There it is, examine.
The bottle's completely empty. That did nothing.
Oh, it's completely empty.
What? Hey, you're right!
Present that bottle. It's like, oh yeah, the bottle's empty. No, we present that bottle at that statement.
And dispose of the card in the bottle. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see if it'll work this time. Objection! Come
Try
on!
not saying as loud.
Oh, but that's the fun part! Objection! Huh?
Okay, a little bit more.
Objection!
Okay.
It just it just does it whenever it wants to. I'm getting tired of it. Mr. Wright, if I may.
Yes.
I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in there.
No?
What, Mr. Wright? Surely isn't all you have to say for yourself?
I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Huh?
Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out? Oh, and a 6th person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh!
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO.
Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? I mean, are you? Honestly. Let's see. Trap. And dispose of the bottle. We've already pressed this, right?
Yep.
Or wait,
Oh,
no.
no, we haven't pressed
this
this
is the revision.
itself.
We
No.
haven't pressed this. Why in the bottle?
I perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I used the entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Oh no, I'm used to entrapment.
Ho ho! So you struck first. I like that.
I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me.
At least, when you get lucky and stick your hand in your right pocket, they don't. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct?
Exactly. Cell phones don't get signal down in the hideout.
Was anyone else on the first floor at the time?
Not a soul. It was in the middle of the night, after all. So there, in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. It didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone.
When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. And when you returned, the victim was already...
Dead, yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
A little.
He was bleeding from his forehead, after all.
I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair. I figured Kristoff's law office would give me a friend rate for the defense fees. Glad to hear you intend to pay. Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got involved, after all.
Got you involved.
Oh, it was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high.
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was talking about?
Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him. Now.
Yes, sir. I have to think. What's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? Truth has to be in there somewhere. I wonder. Okay, so it doesn't look like we present profiles anymore. That's good.
Okay.
Walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. I don't know. What do you think?
So what we know is he was with Kristoff for a couple hours for dinner.
Okay.
Kristoff left, and Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes later.
Okay.
They kind of brought up the information about how there could have been a meeting between them. It's kind of weird. During that time, some unknown time, the card was slipped into Phoenix's pocket. But Phoenix checked his pocket beforehand, found the card, and put it into the bottle. And now it's gone.
Okay.
Can we see the court record again?
Yeah. Attorney's badge, autopsy report, photo 1, deadly bottle, victim's hand, chip photo, Olga's photo, crime photo 2 on the phone. It's gotta be something that contradicts something, obviously. Wait. That bottle.
I was right.
Hey, wait a second. I just noticed something else. Between the 2 crime photos, he's got his hat on in this one, but his hat's off in the other one.
Yes. It was streaming from his forehead if he had the hat.
Not that one.
That one. Present it.
Oh, we might have found it! Mr. Wright, if I may.
Yes.
Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
Good point.
Uh-oh.
Justice. Next time you point out inconsistency, put a little oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court?
Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put the hat on his head.
Huh? Eh?
Huh? You?
Put the hat on the dead man's head?
He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view. Shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why would you do a thing like that? All I can say is, I'm sorry. That's the only thing I touched in the crime scene.
So, Miss Orley didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head?
I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Ahem, pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
He lost it?
Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. I believe it was you who threw the first stone?
Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
a reason?
That reason is right here.
Your cell phone?
That night. Recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I've recorded our conversation. What's this? Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the courts. Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble. What's this? Game not going well? Something like that. That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good? He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard. You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? It wasn't you, was it? Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should have come to that.
Bone china plate?
A kind of porcelain. Really smooth and shiny. But not plate, but pot. A pate.
Not plate, but pate.
I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead.
Oh, he had his hat on that whole time, but if he smacked him, then he would have seen the balding.
The court appreciates the defense's discretion, not in indicating my forehead.
Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call. So, after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club.
Most certainly.
Then, how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate?
Oh, that's right!
The guy had a hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. That was when I began to see my good friend in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the courts? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head? So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on. Your point, Mr. Gavin? It comes down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright?
Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor?
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Oh.
Ooh!
Well, as the prosecutor, I...
Very well. We will break for 10 minutes. After which, Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day.
Well, damn.
This one's going all out.
It's taking a long ass time. I mean, damn. We're already about 3 hours in. I think we're only now about to finally get it. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chambers. Who'd have thought today would turn out like this? May I? Who? Oh! That's Phoenix's daughter!
Yep.
So give it to us straight. Maya's your mom, right?
She's really cute.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable. Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
Oh my gosh, she's a magician. That's cute. What's all this about? Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
Save the world.
Oh, that has
My
blood
son.
on it.
Mm-hmm.
An ace. Where do I remember that card from?
That was in Phoenix's hand. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true. I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating. I swear to you.
missing fifth ace. Wait, this botch of red... Is this blood?
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it.
This blood-stained card is my trump card for finding the truth? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. Bloody ace added to the court record. Oh.
Oh, dang.
There's
We don't have Gavin on our side.
There's no Gavin. Oh boy.
This is real.
Court will now reconvene. Defense Attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand?
Hi.
Hey.
Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Will the witness state his name and occupation? Is this farce necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know the secret beneath the victim's hat?
By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is this all about, this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Oh, Phoenix. Huh?
Hey, he's on our side!
Oh, sweet!
Oh, it's the original!
Oh, yeah!
I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Wright!
What do you think you're doing, right? He's looking anime villain right now, I must say.
I saw that.
Wow, things sure look different on the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off, except for that one time.
That one time being the instant he was hit.
Oh!
When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up, placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime, at the time of the crime.
In other words, you'd have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Not bad, Apollo.
Mr. Gavin?
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the courts. What? Payne just along for the ride, I just realized.
Pretty much.
He's just been thrown to the side. Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
I want to check something real fast. Profiles. Phoenix Wright. He's 33 at this age.
Mm-hmm.
It's been nearly 10 years since his first case. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. So that means Trial and Tribulations takes place... Huh. Okay, so
Yeah,
it
about a
does
year
seem to
after.
fit in the timeline. Now I really want to know how old that kid of his is.
Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?
That fateful night. The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appeared in the photos. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at the time, so I left. That's when the call came from Wright. So, you witnessed the murder? For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team. Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
Like he gives a damn. He was just accused of murder.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand, after all. So you are, Mr. Gavin. And you had to testify as you just did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window.
Mr. Wright?
You had to say that. Because that was the only probable window of opportunity. Right, Apollo?
Oh!
Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared?
Yes, Your Honor. I can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial is getting weirder and weirder. Welcome to Ace Attorney, buddy.
I hope you enjoy your stay.
The rage I sensed in that man that night. Why would he be angry before anything?
Right?
That man. You mean Mr. Smith?
He was different from the other customers. His aura, shall we say. I knew he was a serious poker player, but it was more than that. So then, you knew the true nature of your client's job? Of course, but also knew he wasn't engaging in gambling, which would be illegal.
Well, it makes sense that he'd know. They were friends after all.
Worried for my friend, I returned to the club. You see, I feared this Mr. Smith might be someone coming to settle an old score.
I see. What happened then?
The little window. You mean the one used to keep watch upstairs? Or up the stairs?
Yes, a relic of an ancient past. The black marketers used it, I believe.
Why did you go through the trouble of peeking through the window? Wouldn't it have been easier to just open the door and go into the room?
I didn't want to upset Wright, you see.
Upset Mr. Wright?
Yes. What if my fears had been unfounded? I'd be walking in on their match. Bad form, to say the least.
So far, everything he says is making sense. It must have been it must have been right after the murder took place. How do you know it was right after the murder?
Really, no need to shout, Justice. I was just getting to that part in my testimony. Haha, there he is. The coolest defense in the West we know and love. Even when you're standing up there on your witness stand, some things never change. I was afraid you changed too, right? But you haven't. You and that overbearing personality of yours.
With friends like these, who needs enemies? Victim was dead as he appeared in the photo. By photo, you mean the second photograph of the crime scene?
Precisely. You see, he wasn't wearing his hat then. I saw his head when he was dead.
And then Mr. Wright came along and replaced his hat.
Can you describe the scene of the crime for us?
Bald head, unconscious girl, Wright holding his bottle in his hand. Those weren't the only three at the scene of the those were the only three at the scene of the crime?
Yes. As far as I saw, at least. Then we're back where we started. The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why did you talk to the police? 2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose. Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin. Let me pose a question then. You know what? It just hit dawn on me.
What?
You know what Phoenix Wright looks like standing there with his hands in his pocket of his hoodie?
A hobo?
He looked like Sans. A little bit
What?
with the pose.
I know.
Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap cards in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary?
How can I show something I can't find myself? Oh, God. Now I can't unsee it! God, you Zeke, you son of a bitch! I hope you're happy.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I'm gonna be taking back Phoenix's voice at some point during the stream for that.
Go ahead and take it.
Yeah, it's mine now again. Remember, Apollo.
Remember. Oh,
You know what?
you're taking it right now.
I'll save it for the next turnabout just to not confuse the audience too much.
Remember, Apollo. The card was swapped out. The card that was swapped out was the 5th ace.
The 5th ace. Right.
Well, Mr. Justice, the question of why the killer swapped out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
I mean, we do have the ace, because there's blood on that ace.
I don't think it's the right time to play it.
Why else would Phoenix bring up the fact that it was the 5th ace again?
Okay, so they want us to show evidence why the ace would have been moved.
It was removed because of the blood on it. That's what I'm thinking.
It's now or never. The defense would like to present evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why the card was swapped out.
Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the 5th ace?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Let's do it.
It wasn't. It was. My reason is this.
Is that an ace?
Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
What? This is insane! Why wasn't I told about this? Why?
Could this be the missing fifth ace?
Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gavin so upset? It's just a fishy card from some fishy girl.
A cute fishy girl.
She was cute.
Go, Apollo. Go get the fishy cute girl.
Wait, what?
Oh. Huh?
Go get her.
I said go get her, Apollo. Be with her.
What? Hey, yo, dude. The girl's probably like... She's probably 7. How old is Apollo?
He's probably 18.
Oh.
There's no way. There's no way she did not look 7.
Okay, yeah, I know, but like, who the hell's the mom?
Oh, that card? It's mine. That is, I picked it up at the Borsk Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all. No! Impossible! Unacceptable! The court can't accept this evidence! It's a fraud! A fraud? How can you be so sure? What? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime.
Where are you going with this?
Take another look at this photo, and at the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell to the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards?
I suppose.
The killer then took the card to hide the blood. Regardless, that evidence is not permissible. Oh? Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence. Oh, we could discuss the finer points of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question. What are you talking about? You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now, I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see. This is baseless conjecture! Baseless! Oh, he's pointing!
Yeah!
Oh, I assure you, it's quite based. What? It's amazing, really. How a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo?
Yes?
Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. For a second, I thought this was Donkey Kong Country music.
Oh wow, 3D.
The murder took place in the hideout. The body of the luckless victim was found on at the poker table. And before the killer swapped the card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on the victim's hand. In the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with the scene.
Well, what is it?
Let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on this card, whose position in the diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witnesses.
Whose position
doesn't fit with the bloody card? So it was in the victim's hand.
It was in the victim's hand, so the victim's fine.
The witness number 1 was Olga, so she was knocked out.
Okay.
So we only have witness number 2 and killer.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 chance at this point.
Wait, we're assuming that Kristoff was the killer, so number 2 was irrelevant. It's the position of the killer.
Okay. That makes sense. Present. Well, for one thing, the killer's in the wrong place, I think. Apollo is a little less confident in his, lawyering ways than Phoenix was. Fair enough.
You think. Mr. Justice, your job here is not to think, but to know.
Just looking at you reminds me of the old days. Not the good old days, per se.
Okay, that was wrong.
How does a good old penalty sound? Let's try that one more time. And Mr. Justice, think before you sink.
Given that there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims, the killers, the witness.
Second witness. Where was the card found?
In the victim's hand, they said, right?
Yes. Could it be the victim?
The victim, huh? In a way that could make sense. I mean, why would he have the card in his hand? Damn it, if only I could look at the court record at this moment. Let's try it. Victim. Well, isn't the... Or wait, now I can look at the court record. Let's see. The victim's hand. Let's take a look at this.
That was the original hand. No, I mean, the hand he was dealt.
This one right here?
Yes, and then the card got swapped.
Okay.
Because it was an ace.
Well, isn't the victim's position the problem?
I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice.
Well, look, the victim was struck on the head, sending him back in the chair. You'd think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him. Oh!
Oh, that makes sense.
Alright, so we're onto something.
Ah!
Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall onto the floor, not onto the cards.
Why, that's right. So what does this mean?
Incidentally, we were sitting on swivel chairs.
Swivel chairs? Oh man.
Apollo, try turning the chair around.
Recreate the crime scene. Okay.
There we go.
The chair was facing the other way?
It would have to be. So we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table.
When Mr. Wright returned from informing the police, which way was the chair facing?
When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo.
That would mean the killer turned the chair back around.
Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose location on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of this crime? The victims, the killer, the witnesses, the second witness. Oh, the killer.
Yeah, I was just about to say the killer because, I mean, how would he have killed him from that angle? Oh, right, gotta use the touchpad. The victim was struck from the front, correct?
Indeed.
Well, it wouldn't be hard for the killer to hit him from the front. Sitting where his indicator currently is?
I would think it would be quite hard, yes. Yes, but what you're saying makes no sense! Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a significant reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing?
Try marking it.
Towards his right.
What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be.
Don't worry. Let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing towards the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Okay, so right in front.
Okay, where would the killer have to be standing to strike the victim from the front? From the front?
Mm-hmm.
The killer would have to be standing, well, here!
You get points for flair, but that's about all you get.
I thought I was onto something there too.
I hardly need to point out that standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha! It's simple logic, really. This was the only place the killer could have been standing. Then that means that, at the very moment of the crime...
Wait, I know! At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there!
What's this now?
I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately.
Bailiff, send a team to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard.
Your Honor?
What?
There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff.
Yes, I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
I do my best.
Damn, Phoenix. All I want to see is you in that lawyer suit again.
But let's forge ahead while we wait. Look at this diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here, which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard.
Okay. Whee!
Blocking the hidey hole.
Yeah, blocking the window!
Thank you. As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this?
What is this now?
Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact.
Huh? Oh, dang!
I love Sassy Phoenix Wright. Have I said that yet?
No?
I love just like him just dripping with just absolute just spite with everything he's saying. He is out for blood. Gav has wronged him somehow. Notice
what
something,
if
Apollo?
Gavin is what if Gavin has something to do with the fact that he lost his badge?
Oh, probably.
Man, the lore! Oh, I need more!
Don't mess with Phoenix Wright. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion.
Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradicting indicator. Is it the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Which indicator in this diagram contradicts what we should know?
Witness number 2. About this cupboard. Are we all okay with assuming it was moved?
Sure, why not?
Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. The cupboard would completely cover the window to the stairs.
Oh!
That's right. Someone standing outside wouldn't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin.
What? What did you say? Oh? Is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool? Don't expect me to play along with your little game, right? It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court? Exactly where did you witness the crime scene from?
Excuse me, Your Honor! Order! This is a court of law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Bush Bowl Club. They've examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh, and what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there's a secret passage behind it. What?
Well,
Holy crap.
Okay.
Ah, yes. I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of the tricks to the room many of the regulars know about.
I do remember him saying something about that, now that he mentions it.
A secret passage is a handy thing to have when you're if you're engaging in illegal goings-on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law.
So the room has a secret passage? Where does it go?
The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. You see where a line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo?
I see it, but I don't believe it. That girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes before Mr. Smith's murder. And Mr. Wright returned from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Well, Mr. Gavin, come on, say something.
Dare I ask what really happened that night?
Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at that point, or at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in the secret passageway behind the cupboard. Holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came and he took it.
Ah! Eek!
Eek.
Wait, why did you do that? Wait, I'll get help.
Miss Olga Orley was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Our killer then stepped out from the secret passage and hid in the hideout, into the hideout.
The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. He wheeled his chair around to look.
That was mine.
That's Paula.
He wheeled his chair
Sorry.
around to look and...
After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized that the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime.
Too bad for him he didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And the fact that they were all red.
Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly, truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin?
Mr. Payne,
Yes, Your Honor?
the prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant, he is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant for your arrest immediately.
Oh, no need to apologize. I rather enjoyed myself. It's not every day you get to witness a legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand. Your point, Mr. Gavin? Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked that a person of your caliber would be taken in such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is use illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. Not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence?
Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason, at present, to suspect me of wrongdoing? Of course. This bottle, for instance.
The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking.
How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon? And not just any fingerprints, am I right, Mr. Payne? Actually, yes. The fingerprints on the bottle were
I seem to recall this being an issue earlier.
The courts, in this case, demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why you would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor. Aha. See how the codfish squirms to the last? Well, Apollo?
Yes?
Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you could come up with a suitable explanation. Just like that.
Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to...
Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one.
Is there really another?
Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight.
How about you just say the answer in plain words?
Can you check the court record real quick? I think I know what it is. Remember the bottle was just laying on the table?
Let's take a look.
It was laying right there.
So he could have easily just... Yeah, he could have grabbed it like that.
And then... Not that photo, I don't think. Yeah, it was just laying right there.
Yeah.
I figured it out.
Okay.
The bottleneck was pointing towards Phoenix.
Oh.
So dude went to hit the dealer. Phoenix could have tried to like fight back and like take the bottle by that portion. Explain the fingerprints.
Okay.
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with this unanswered question indeed. Well, Mr. Justice.
Mr. Gavin said the court and this case demanded an explanation. Don't worry. Justice won't leave until justice is done.
Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle are upside down?
So it could be the crime photo 1.
I'm thinking the chips, but
It could technically be either one.
I think, yeah, it makes sense.
Let's try. Okay, maybe not.
Now seems like the perfect time
Oh,
for
Lord.
a penalty. Jeez!
What do they expect? I have no idea how to explain it!
You're thinking too hard, Apollo. The answer is right in front of you. Just reach down and pick it up. Or try picturing a situation in which one might grab a bottle upside down. We were on the right idea.
Okay.
Look at Olga's photo with that one right there.
Okay.
Take a look at it.
I'm looking.
Notice how there's a crate of bottles.
Yeah.
If you were to pick one up, how would you pick it up if you were in Phoenix's position?
You could do either way, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. You can argue it's upside down, too.
Actually, that could work. Here we go. It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to the chair. Or next to your chair.
Excuse me? On the floor?
Yes, now, reach down and pick it up. Without getting out of your chair.
Ah! I'm just doing that with my own bottle and...
See? You're naturally going to pick it up by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. the defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. He would have naturally picked up the bottle upside down several times.
Wow, I can't believe it was that simple.
Recall our dinner that evening, Kristoff. I was drinking my usual juice then, too.
Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano. And you switched the bottles.
And that explains the card.
You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon.
Order, order, order! What do you have to say to these charges, Mr. Gavin?
Fascinating. So this is the legendary's attorney's famed tactics of misdirection.
Alright, can you just stop having rebuttals? Like, seriously? What?
You claim that I switched the bottle. Where is your proof?
Proof? Well, that's,
As I thought. More baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty. Objection! I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Oh! That's it!
There's no card.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the card's missing. That backs up the theory.
Mm-hmm. Your Honor. When you initiated the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation?
Ah, yes! I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Broche Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question.
What? Are you gonna dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that but his.
Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle wouldn't bear that bottle wouldn't bear a trace of anything.
Say, Apollo,
Yes?
why don't you go ahead and examine that bottle?
But why?
Just humor me.
Mr. Wright?
That bottle will solve this case once and for all.
What? That's some bottle. All right, here we go.
Oh shit.
Ah!
Take that!
Oh, there's something inside the bottle.
Five of hearts.
What's this?
That card! It can't be! Recall that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment.
Miss Olga Orlery?
Yes, our little swindling Devotchka. That night, I played the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to, too. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed.
Wait! This isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of your testimony.
I happened to put my hand in the pocket and found a card. Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the Five of Hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game.
Dispose? Where?
There was an empty bottle of grape juice that I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. That's the first time he actually mentioned him when he was accusing.
Oh my god, he's a Saiyan! Oh.
That is all. Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright?
I knew it! I knew it! He had something to do with Phoenix losing his position!
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction. Fine. I'm glad we can have this little tot right. This is insane! What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
Who are you again?
Hey!
I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have a report for us on Christoph Gavin?
He admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now.
I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have a connection to the victim, did he?
None that we know of.
Mr. Wright, have you anything to add?
I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter.
About this victim, Mr. Shoddy Smith. His occupation was listed as traveler. An odd profession to be sure. And that's all we know about him.
I'll arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor.
Good. Mr. Wright.
Yes.
7 years, and you still haven't lost your touch.
Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer.
He was extremely talented to be sure.
I needed 2 things before I confronted him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated. This courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo.
Me?
A dark time is coming for our legal system. A twisted of justice brought on by our very own court system. I've also eaten 40 pizzas in the past 30 days. The day of reckoning is upon us.
God.
We have to set it right.
Mr. Wright.
Our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Well, this seems like a good time to announce the verdict. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright, not guilty.
Woo!
Yeah! Woohoo!
Yay!
Court is adjourned.
Holy hot dang. District Court, lobby number 3.
Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would.
I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. Gav, the killer.
I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too, today, didn't you? Your ability.
Ability?
Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough.
Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true?
Of course it's true.
What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What was that, Mr. Wright?
You'll have to find the answer to that question yourself.
The answer? Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible
reason could he have had to commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn about that in the days to come.
Huh? Wait. You don't know, do you?
This locket is the key.
The girl? Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in the locket. Your daughter, right?
That's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. I took this off his neck the night he died.
Huh?
But it looked like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him.
Huh? Wait, but that's perjury! You testified! You said that the locket was yours!
I said no such thing, actually.
Huh?
I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth?
Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it?
Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time.
Oh, don't do this bullshit! Seriously!
You're still just getting started with your career.
Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. I still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs.
Apollo,
Yeah?
how about coming to work for me?
Huh? You mean at the Wright & Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it.
I can't imagine that to be true, but...
Wait, but didn't you... You're not a...
Oh, I turned in my badge, yes. I'm not an attorney anymore.
That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts?
I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. Didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence.
Forged evidence? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the evidence that shouldn't have existed. A naughty magician's trick.
One piece of evidence? One piece of evidence struck me as odd, it's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was the forged evidence.
It was the card.
You think?
I think so.
Oh, no way.
That opened everything up.
You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright.
Yes. That card couldn't have been found at the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left. Leaving the wrong card in his place. Lucky for us. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud. A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could claim it was a fraud would be the one who took the real car from the crime scene. The real killer. My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago.
Then, you really...
Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real.
But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney?
Who's calling themselves an attorney, Paulo?
So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago.
None of that matters much now, does it?
I punched him.
It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like.
Mr. Wright.
Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch. And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time.
Huh. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. A lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at the time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'd find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law, and this is how my story begins.
Hooray!
Wow, okay. Yes, save. So this game opens up with Phoenix betraying basically everything he, prided himself on.
Yeah, but at the same time, he wasn't an attorney, so the way he saw it was, who cares? He wasn't an attorney already.
Obviously, he's got to have some kind of explanation for this. Okay, so the first episode took us 4 hours. God knows how long the rest of them are going to take.
Right?
Yikes. And we still haven't even finished the third Phoenix Wright game at the time of recording this, so...
We got a lot more Ace Attorney left.